Welcome to the In the Huddle YouTube channel. Today we will be doing a film analysis on Gardner Minshew, the Jacksonville Jaguars starting quarterback. So before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and comment below what your thoughts on Gardner Minshew are. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about Minshew. Minshew had a pretty good year for a rookie as he led the Jaguars to 6-6 record and had 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, which is a 7-2 touchdown to interception ratio, which is actually really good for a rookie. He had a 60.6 completion percentage and 7 yards per attempt. So before we look at the film, I want to first talk about what I think of Minshew, and then we'll look at the film to defend what I say or to prove what I said wrong. So Minshew is a really smart quarterback, has a really good processor. He can read defenses very well. But I feel like he's more than just a dump-off, first-read quarterback. He can go and look at his second and third reads, and he can make a lot of plays for you. He has very good athleticism, and he has a lot of mobility, and when he's scrambling and he's out of a pocket, that's when he's at his best. He makes his biggest plays when he's out of a pocket and the play has broken down. But one of Minshew's biggest weaknesses is he takes way too many sacks. He's just always trying to make that play. He holds on to the ball way too much. But despite this, I feel Minshew also gets a lot of hate for his arm not being that strong. And I think his arm is average. I don't think it's the best arm, but I don't think it's the weakest or one of the worst in the league. I think it's usable. So now that we've talked about Minshew, let's look at the tape. This is the first play I'm going to be showing you guys, and this play really demonstrates Minshew's great accuracy and his anticipation skills. So what the Jaguars have drawn up is they have both of their outside wide receivers going on comebacks. They have their tight end going on a deep corner, and their slot wide receivers going on a deep end. Let's see what Minshew does. And the Buccaneers are running a cover one defense, man coverage. Let's see what happens. So Minshew takes a snap, and it's his first down they have to get. And he throws it. That's a great throw. But let's look at this one more time. So Minshew snaps it, and right here, as soon as he looks at Keelan Cole, the wide receiver, he notices how far off the cornerback is. And look at the first down marker. The corner is playing way too off. So Minshew gets it, throws it. And it's a perfect throw, first down, boom. Now let's move on to the next play. So here's the next play I'm going to be showing you guys. So on Minshew's right side, his wide receiver is going on a streak route. His slot wide receiver is going on a deep post. And his outside wide receiver on the left, DJ Chark, is going on a deep end. The Jets are running a cover one as they have one safety who's not guarding a man. He's playing a deep zone, while everyone else is getting single covered. And Leonard Fournette is also a dump-off option. Let's see what Minshew does on this play. He takes the snap. See how he first looks for his outside wide receiver going on a streak? But he kind of gets jammed a little, or he just can't get his release off perfectly. So he's not going to get the ball thrown to him, obviously. He's not open. So Minshew waits. He looks around. He sees at this moment, look at DJ Chark. He's going open. He's going into his route. So Minshew anticipates it, and he throws it right there in stride, and that's a great catch for a first down. This next play I'm showing you guys shows more of Minshew's accuracy and how he's willing to wait in the pocket. This also shows one thing that many quarterbacks do not possess, which is a great touch pass. This is one thing that quarterback Justin Herbert coming out of Oregon does not possess, which is why many are low on his game. Now let's look at the play. So Minshew takes the snap, and then right here, let's look at the play more in depth. So DJ Chark on the outside, he's eliminated. He got jammed. He's out of the play basically, or he's not really a good target to throw to. The tight end here has 3 people surrounding him. Minshew's not going to throw it to him. Then there's a running back who has 2 people on him. And then here we look at number 12, D.D. Westbrook. He's going on a slant route, but then there's 2 linebackers that are right there if Minshew throws it to him. But what's interesting is wide receiver number 84, Keelan Cole, he ran a double move, and that sucked Jamal Adams to go down. But then since he's not really going fully straight, he's going to do like a slant move in the middle. That lets Minshew fit it right over the head of a linebacker and where Jamal Adams can't get it. Let's look at it. So see, Minshew gets it, throws it, touch pass over the safety or linebacker, and that's a touchdown. We'll look at it from another angle just so we can understand it better. So let's look at it this way now. See? So touch pass right over the head of the safety. So many people have said Minshew does not have a great arm and you can't throw it deep. I do not agree with that. I think Minshew actually has really good deep accuracy, and we'll look at it this play. So here's the play design the Jaguars have. They have the two outside wide receivers on the right side running in routes, while DJ Chark goes on a deep corner. And then looking at Minshew's left side, they have a running back going on a streak, mainly just to take Jamal Adams out of a play. And then they have a wide receiver going on an out route. Let's look at what happens. So Minshew, he takes the snap, and let's pause here. Let's look at his options right now. So I've marked out 3 players who have been taken out of a play. They were jammed on the release, and Minshew's not going to throw to them. So Minshew has 2 options right now. He can take the safe underneath route where the cornerback or safety is actually behind. If Minshew can lead it properly, they can probably get a lot of yards. He can turn upfield, and the only guy stopping him will be the safety at the top, number 20. Or Minshew can throw to DJ Chark, I believe, who's going on a deep corner. Let's see what Minshew does. And he throws it, and that's a great ball too. Let's look at that. So Minshew, it's in the air now. And that's great. Right there. Right where you want it. The defensive back couldn't get there. And that was a big gain. Great catch. In this next play, I'm going to be showing you guys Minshew's athleticism and one of his best abilities, which is he can make something out of nothing. So the play design the Jaguars have is mainly just to get the first down or just to get closer to it. As right here, they have outside wide receiver on the left side. He's just running an underneath drag route. They're just hoping they can throw it to him. He's the number 1 read on this play. The Jaguars are also looking at the inside slot wide receiver as he's running more of a deep inside route. And it doesn't look like the Chargers are set. And if they don't guard him properly, he looks like he can get open. The Chargers actually have 6 in coverage, as what you don't see is that number 54, Melvin Ingram, is actually going to take away this underneath route by undercutting it. The Chargers are actually sending 2 people on Minshew's right side, which is overloading that side, which is going to cause some issues in protection and let one guy be a free rusher. So let's see what Minshew does. So here's the play. Minshew takes the snap, and right here you see the safety has a free shot at Minshew. He's right there. So what Minshew does is he steps up in the pocket. But let's look at Minshew's targets, and if he could throw to someone, who would he throw to? So his wide receiver on the outside, the most right side, he's taken away by the corner. Same with the wide receiver to the left of him. The wide receiver running the deep crosser, there's 2 guys in between where he's going to be running. Minshew can't fit the ball there. And then Melvin Ingram just took away the underneath route. So he has to run the ball. And that's what Minshew does. Look here. So the safety runs up, Minshew runs up, and he gets the first down. That just shows Minshew is able to make a play when there looks like there's no play to be made. This next play I'm going to be showing you guys is Gardner Minshew. If you had to describe Gardner Minshew in one play, this would be the play. Gardner Minshew is at home when he's on the run, no one's open, pressure in his face, and he makes a play. You'll see what I mean when you look at the clip. So Minshew, he rolls out to his right, and right now it appears nobody is open. He'll have to make a throw in a tight window, or he'll just have to throw it away. 3rd and goal, Fourth quarter, it's a close game. Let's see what Minshew does. He rolls out, makes a move, finds the wide receiver for a great play. This demonstrates what Minshew is capable of doing. He's good at doing those underneath dink and dunk plays. He can take the occasional deep shot. But this is Gardner Minshew. This is where he feels at home. This is where he's comfortable. He stays poised. He doesn't panic. He finds his wide receiver. I did say Gardner Minshew has a good arm, which I do believe. He has a solid arm and he can throw it with a bit of zip. And I did say he can also throw it deep. His accuracy is not that bad, and I believe he's around average. But despite that, he does struggle from time to time, like every other average deep ball thrower. And we'll see that in this play, that when he has to throw it in tight windows, he isn't the best at it. So right here, Minshew, he throws it up, and let's look at where the ball ends up going and where I think it should have gone. So the ball ends up going in the black circle area. That's where the ball ends up going. I don't think that's the best spot for the ball to go, especially with the corner that low, and the wide receiver had a step or two on him. That's not the way to best utilize the wide receiver when they had a strong release. Here's the two areas I think it should have gone. Up top, where the wide receiver can fight for the ball, and sometimes that's the best the quarterback can do, is give a wide receiver a chance to fight for it. And then I have throwing it out deep, where he can throw with a little more touch and lead the wide receiver to the ball. So this is where Minshew ends up throwing it. So he throws it, and it's way too low. It's not high enough, or it's not far enough. So Minshew, I've talked a lot about his positives, and I haven't really gone into his negatives that much. I did talk about his deep accuracy, but now I'm going to go into one of his bigger issues, is when pressure comes right at him, he'll tend to collapse and just take the sack when he can move around and just throw it away. This especially happens when the pressure is right in his face, and if someone is coming, say as an edge rusher around his offensive lineman or his tackle, he'll be able to roll out perfectly fine to the other side. But in these next two clips, we'll see, when the pressure is coming right in his face, he seems to just collapse and just take the sack. And this is odd considering with his athleticism, he should be able to avoid at least a few of these. Like he is able to if the player is coming off the edge. Let's look at these two clips. So right here, Grady Jarrett just gets in and he just stares at him. He's unable to move. That's not really as much his fault as the offensive lineman who didn't really block. We'll just look here. But he didn't really see it, which is really odd for him since he's very good at sensing pressure, especially when it's coming off the edge rushers, off the tackles. So here in this play, it is coming off of the tackle, but Atkins forces him inside, which is where Minshew will just collapse. Look at it again. So Atkins just bullies Cam Robinson, and Minshew just can't get around it. This is the last play I'm going to be showing you guys, and this play shows how clutch Minshew is and how he can perform under pressure. This is third down, and with the score they win, and if they aren't able to get a touchdown, they lose. So here's the play drawn. So they have the two outside receivers on the right side. We're kind of bumping off each other. This is very similar to the play that the Seahawks ran in Super Bowl 49 where Malcolm Butler intercepted it. As you will see on this play, the corners do not play it very well. On Minshew's left side, they have the outside wide receiver Keelan Cole, who's going on more of a drag route. As we can see with the Raiders defense, there's 3 players in man coverage and everyone else is going after the quarterback. Minshew will have a lot of pressure in his face, and he'll have to get the ball off pretty quickly. And I believe a field goal does tie the game, but obviously you don't want to tie the game when you can go for the win. Let's see what happens. So Minshew, he will take the snap, and right here, the ball is already thrown. The pressure could not get to him, even if they sent a touchdown. Game over. Nice throw by Minshew, and they won that game. To wrap things up, so we've looked at the film, we've looked at the tape, and I think Minshew is a solid quarterback. Obviously, he does have to work on his game a little more. He still has some accuracy issues going deep, he needs to weed out, and he sometimes just tries to do a little too much. But I think Minshew has all the tools to become a great quarterback, but the only thing that really I'm concerned about for him is the Jaguars themselves. The Jaguars are not a great team, as we all know, and they could very well end up having the number 1 overall pick. And if the Jaguars have the number 1 overall pick, it is very likely they will be taking a quarterback. May it be Trevor Lawrence, may it be Justin Fields, may it be Trey Lance. And if that does happen, then Minshew is going to be on the bench, and he will not really get an opportunity unless he gets traded. And Minshew has all the weapons here in Jacksonville where he can prove that he can lead the Jaguars to a top 15 or so offense. So comment below your thoughts on Minshew and what you think he will do this year.